So, Monday, November 25th, regular class, not advanced. They're doing different things. So make sure you're watching the correct one. Sorry, we're slightly crooked. Especially things we're going to be covering here in a moment. Your only real homework for me at the moment is me doing the book report, although that will be changing here soon. And then no tie games, why I'm wearing my glitter shirt, because I'm a pretty boy. And then, let's see right there. Handed back your poetry test. So if you're at home, you don't have a poetry test. So you'll be out of luck on that one. When you come back, you'll get it. Those of you who did get back poetry test, you can do test corrections. It is officially due next Friday, which is December 6th. That is how long you have to turn them in. After December 6th, I am deleting all the information off of website. You can turn it in after that. It's just I will not be reminding you, and it won't be on website. Technically, you could still turn in your short story ones if you wanted to. Those are still able to be turned in. It's just no longer on my website. So do the test corrections, follow directions up there, follow the stuff from there. You should be good to go. Now, to the rest of you, open iPad. Those of you at home, you're going to have to do this just following along. I can't actually send you there. I'm getting ready to send you to place on iPad. Navigate there. If you have newest operating system, you are going to be out of luck on some of this because things are in a different place and it does not work the same. Those of you who have the older operating system, this will hopefully work for you and make things work out all right. So this weekend, I tried to find the audiobook for Shadow Club so that way I could go through and try to have you guys listen to it anytime you want to read. There is a problem. They've not made an audiobook for Shadow Club yet. It does not exist. So I could not buy a thing that's not out there yet. So I'm in the process of recording an audiobook. So I am going to record myself reading the book, and then I will upload it, and you can listen to my melodic voice. The thing is, it takes like 6 hours to record the book. So you're going to have to give me time to get there. So in case you need to get there first, I found a way to give you sort of a low-rent audiobook. So I'm going to show you how to do easy mode audiobook. It's not the best. It's sort of like Siri reading it to you in a different voice, which is not awful, but it's definitely better than not having anything at all for those of you who want to be lazy. So first off, go to a website that I just sent you to. Scroll down to where it says ebook. You are going to need to download/open it into iBooks. So find where it says the ebook. You're going to download it into iBooks. You can either tap on it, and it should say like open in iBooks, or you can hold your finger on it, and it'll say open in iBooks. Either one's fine with me. But you're going to want to have it. If yours is not giving you those options, then you have the newest operating system. Congratulations. You've challenged yourself. You're going to try to find another way of doing this. I don't know how to help you yet. I can only figure it out on the older operating system. Once you have downloaded it, either by, once again, tapping it or holding on it, and it should open up in iBooks, you now have a copy of ebook. Yay, go you. Here's how the thing will work next. Once you have the ebook downloaded, next step, you are going to go to settings. So don't swipe that out. We're going to come back to it. Just button close, go to settings. In settings, you are going to follow these steps. Don't go too fast, because then you're going to get messed up. Don't fall behind, because you're going to get messed up. So we're going to try and do our best. Those of you at home, you can still follow these settings. So go to where it says General. Tap on General on the left. And you're going to go to where it says Accessibility. If you have newest one, it no longer says Accessibility there. It's gone. It's somewhere over here on the left-hand side. If you scroll down, it has a different name for it, if you have the newest one. If you still have old one, you can do it this way. Once you tap Accessibility, you're going to go to the one that says Speech. There's a little arrow over there. Tap the little arrow next to it. Then you're going to get to the one that says Speak Screen. Tap that so it turns green. We're not done yet. Speak Screen is next step. This is going to open up a shortcut that allows iPad to speak whatever is on your screen. It'll read you anything on there, whether it's a web page, homework, book, something like that. But we can also change the voice so it's not quite as bad Siri-wise. This works for like all of your things. So here's next step. Oh no, learning at school. So go down to where it says Voices. Tap on Voices. you're going to want to, most of you are going to want to go to the top where it says English. You could do it in another language. Not sure that's going to help you.
Oh my god.
But tap on where it says English. You don't have to wait. Hyper one. We'll get you in a second.
I like French.
Once you've done that, it pops up with a whole list of voice choices. Here is where your headphones come in. Because if I hear your iPad, I charge you points. So you're going to want to plug in headphones. All of you have the one that says Samantha. It's the one that is pre-downloaded whenever your things are like, you have a voice message. It's the one that just automatically speaks. But you can change it. I recommend scrolling down and go to the ones from other countries, because you have one that's like South Africa or Australia. There's British, which is the one I'm going to show you here in a moment. When you find the voice you want to click on the one that says Enhanced, because it sounds better. It's a bigger file. By the way, downloading it at school, better than home, because we have pretty fast Wi-Fi here for things that are not illegal. And so the downloading of it should be pretty fast, because it's a big file. It's like 500 megs, depending on the voice you choose. But Enhanced sounds a lot better. It goes from, this is a voicemail, to this is a voicemail, which is better-ish. So as an example, let me demonstrate. For those of you at home, here's what it's going to sound like. To activate it, once you have, it is a 2-finger swipe. You go from top of iPad, put 2 fingers out like you're swiping down the tray, except 2 fingers. Oh, went too far.
Neil Schusterman, the Shadow Club, followed over the summer. Ralphie was always good for a laugh, because he had never uttered a word of truth in his entire life. Pretty soon I forgot all about the track team.
And it'll just sit there and read it to you, whatever voice you have chosen. When you look at it, it'll have play,
And was in a good mood.
pause. And it has a little rabbit and a turtle. You can make it go faster.
Such good news as I even said hello to Tyson McCall. He grunted back, then 5 minutes later got himself into a fight with some kid whose name
Or
I
slower.
don't remember.
Can we use this
Watching
on an
Tyson get into fights was a school tradition.
And so you can adjust the speed as need be. This works on websites too, or if you are still in settings, you can hit it there and it'll read your settings to you.
Personally, I never got into a real fight
Sorry, it's still reading the old book. Close.
about software update, airdrop, handoff, multitasking and all.
So it'll read anything on there. So it's a way of turning anything into an audiobook. So until I get a chance to finish recording audiobook, those of you who fall behind, because I don't think I'll have it done by the first quiz, and if you're like, I really don't want to read, I'm so late, this will at least allow you to have some version of it. And it'll work even if you turn off your iPad. You can close it, or you can go to a different app. It'll keep on playing for you. So you can like play it in the background. And so hopefully it's a way to help things out a little bit to make things a little bit better. Now, it does you no good if it's playing while you're going and doing Minecraft and completely ignoring it. Then you're like, Mr. Brovicast, I listened to the whole book. How did I fail the quiz? Because while it's playing while you're doing something else, probably not helping you so much. We call that poor choices. So hopefully that helps you out a wee bit. So again, to activate it, 2-finger swipe down. So if you've not tried it, you can do 2-finger swipe down to make sure you have it working. And it should pop up with a little gray box. Unless you have newest operating system, then yours is special and weird and different. I think I can figure it out. I just don't know yet. I literally taught this to myself last night at 9 o'clock when I was getting frustrated trying to figure things out. That's why I figured it's right down there. All right. Those of you at home, yay, you've learned. But today you get a different audiobook, which is just me reading out loud to you.
Good, because I don't want to do this.
I know. Learning at school, it's never going to catch on.
I know, right?
Mr. Brovia,
John Anthony.
what was the high score in the test?
In this class,
Yes.
like an 84, 83, somewhere right around there.
Oh, is it vegan?
Oh, I was close.
What's up, baby mama?
Oh, tell me if this is a good name for my baby. Katrina Kahalin Woodard.
You are?
Wait, what was that?
Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
Hence.
What if you make your voice Turkish because it's Thanksgiving?
Clear off iPad.
Wait, what did you say?
The only thing you need out is Shadow Club. Everything else you can make disappear.
You can listen to Mickey and Alex and Samantha and
What else? No.
What do you mean? I didn't
Get done with my lady.
Yeah, I'll unlock it at the end. Alright. Then from where we left off before, ooh, does anyone remember main character's name? I figured it was Friday, and they only said it like once.
Let me think. There's like
Ava.
Carol.
She's the one with the Carol.
It's Cheryl.
Cheryl, not the main character.
Oh wait, no, it's
Patty or
his name's me. It's me.
Austin.
Cheryl
Jared.
is the friend.
Jared. I said Cheryl.
Anyway, so we have Jared, main character, who's telling a story. We have Jared's two friends, which are Cheryl and Randall. And then we have kids trying to prove to me that that's why they're not going to get a chance to move back to other seats because they're already having troubles where they currently are. And then we have, begins in a cemetery. Why was the story set in a cemetery?
Wedding.
They have the weird, not that, we'll come back to that one. We have the weird wedding going on. Who's getting married?
Cheryl's stepmom.
Aside from not knowing Jared's name, pretty good so far. The Cheryl's mom, who they don't show up at. You lost a Kleenex.
Oh well.
Just making sure. And so on that one, we don't really find out more about the parents after that. So apparently they get married and then disappear for the whole rest of this. Just put it in there. You're fine.
There's nothing else.
I know that's why it's the last one. They're not getting a new one out, so someone might need it. And then we got to Shirley Temple. Why did they talk about Shirley Temple? Yes, I know animal crackers. Why did they talk about Shirley Temple? There you go. Her little cousin Rebecca, who is just like her. We find out that's who Cheryl hates. And I think that's roughly where we've gotten to. We've gotten to that. We've not gotten to this yet. That's coming up in a moment. All right.
Rebecca, it was Randall.
We ended on page 12, where they were just talking about how much we hate Rebecca. And then, the underlining. I was giving you the ones I did. Have you guys underlined anything that is worth sharing yet that you guys can connect as opposed to the ones where I make fun of myself and things like that?
Yeah.
Is it about Turkish? Pins?
It's not Rebecca.
I highlighted the thing about rolling her eyes because I'm really good.
So proud of you. Oh, wait, I rolled my eyes too. Naomi?
So I did brother.
Yes.
My brother.
Because you have a brother. Good connection, dear. Solid.
I did married because
Cameron?
Are you okay?
Patrick?
I did my cousin, and I underlined I don't like to talk.
Would work for me. Kirby?
I underlined Mary because Lizzie's sister, brother, and my brother are getting married.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, for real?
What?
Yeah, for real.
Are you
serious?
Okay. We're gonna be step.
Sister and brother.
No, I don't want to be there.
No.
Lizzie?
I highlighted it all started that day.
Old enough to not to talk in class and lose more points. Continue.
It all started that day in the graveyard.
And that's because?
It's relatable. How?
Because that's where people's B points are? Dead in a graveyard.
That's
Cameron?
a big one.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's basically just Sprite with cherry in it. But yeah.
I thought it was like lemonade.
I thought it was.
Usually it's just Sprite. I mean, you can make it 2 different ways, but typically it's just Sprite with cherry in it.
Wait, what is
That's the non-one. Shirley Temple's one is out alcohol. Named after a little girl. That's why it's called the Shirley Temple. Yeah, that's a different drink. Not named after Shirley Temple. A different famous person who's not young. And moving on. We'll just have to. All right. Page 12. Picking up. Yes, called ignoring you. Page 12. Moving on from there. Yes, Christopher. Good stuff. Page 12.
No. Were you mistaking Rebecca for Randall, or is that a whole different character?
Totally different character.
Okay.
Where it gets down to, they're talking about torturing Rebecca in different ways and making her life awful.
What page on?
Still page 12. By the way, you guys can just write in your book whenever we finish. You remember where it was. Pretty good, I said, only smiling. How about putting hydrochloric acid in her punch? No, said Cheryl, getting excited. We'll get an enormous cork, cover it with super glue, and drop it in the barrel on Halloween when it's her turn to bob for apples. I laughed. Wait, okay. Okay. We scare her so much that she screams so loud she could never sing again. No mess, no evidence. What genius, Cheryl laughed. What genius. All right, how about we send her in for a tonsillectomy, but we write on her chart to remove her vocal cords instead. Oh, you're sick, Cheryl. Look who's talking, Jared. We both laughed for a while, then looked over at little Miss Goldenthroat, holding the microphone like she was born with it in her hands. We laughed some more. Don't you ever imagine doing nasty things to people that really tick you off like that? She asked. That was a question I didn't even have to think about. Yeah, like every day, I said. And I'll bet I know just who it is, she giggled. She knew who, all right. It didn't take much thinking to figure it out. It was Austin Pace, my very good friend, Austin Pace, my buddy, my teammate, my pal. It's kind of a weird feeling to hate a friend. You don't know whether to go and have fun together or punch him out. Not that I would ever punch Austin out. It's just that sometimes you like to think about it, that's all. Kind of like throwing darts at someone's picture. Again, I highlighted that, and I said I'm assuming most kids with me at some point get angry and draw a picture of me and stab it. Or throw darts at it. Cameron?
I underlined, or I highlighted living microphone because in Randall's class, I'm like the best singer.
Oh my
God.
Well, well done on that one. Apparently, other people seem to support you. The song ended, and everyone applauded. Then the lead singer got on the microphone again and said, "Let's hear it for Rebecca!" The applause got louder. Cheryl grimaced. "You want to hear another one?" asked the lead singer. Cheryl looked at me with that "please God, no" expression on her face, but the applause got louder. Rebecca mumbled something to the band. They nodded and started up again. Sorry, hiccup. Another big dance number. Rebecca began to bounce around again and strut across the stage, all proud. Then Cheryl and I watched some old relative toss flowers at Rebecca from the floral centerpieces on the tables, and she put one behind her ear. "Oh, I think I'm going to be sick," said Cheryl, as we watched a scene that was beginning to resemble a freak show. I highlighted that, and I put class on Fridays. Chapter, Austin Pace. This is chapter 2. You can write it 2 in there if you want to, but technically chapter 2, Austin Pace. In our town, high school doesn't start in ninth grade. 100 years ago, some founding father decided that 7th through 9th grades belonged in junior high school, and no one's bothered to change it since. It was the first day of the last year of junior high, and Austin was already at it. All right, so real quick, they say that their high school or junior high is different than ours. Our junior high is 7th and 8th. What is their junior high? 7th, 8th, and 9th. He just said it was the last day of it was the first day of the last year of junior high. So what grade is he in? 9th. So he's in 9th. So the whole problem solving. So the main guy, Jared, is in 9th grade, which is still in junior high for them. So it's not in high school. He was even early that morning, jogging around the track. Coach Schuler hadn't even come in yet. There was Austin in last year's gym shorts, running in circles for the whole world to see. I'm certain he was doing it for that reason, so the whole school could walk by and say, "Wow, Austin is really dedicated, isn't he?" Well, I was dedicated too, but I didn't flaunt it in public. Austin's good at a large number of things. Good enough for people to notice, but not enough to be labeled a brain, or a jock, or a nerd, or anything. In short, he's what every kid wants to be, or at least what I always wanted to be. He is, in his own way, perfection on 2 feet, and he knows it. Is it the perfection on 2 feet? You highlight that and put my name? You have to tell us, right?
But isn't that like the Richard Corey thing?
It is, so it seems. And we're going to find out, much like Richard Corey, things are not what they seem. I hated him. Again, I figure you guys probably highlighted that and put my name to. He didn't know that. To him, I was just one of his many friends. If he'd been a year or two older than me, he might have been someone I looked up to. Can you believe that? He loves it when younger kids look up to him. I'm not younger, though. I'm 3 months older than him. He never really treated me like a friend, or even like an equal. He kind of treated me like a worm, or at least tried to make me feel like one. I used to think it was because I was the one who started up that now infamous nickname that still plagued his existence, Lost in Space. The name stuck to him like Velcro. He could never peel it off. Yeah, I used to think that's why he treated me like he did. That wasn't it. It ran deeper and stronger than that. You see, unlike everyone else, I was the only one who came close to being a threat to him. Like I said, Austin's good at everything. But there was only one thing that he was out and out great at. He could run. As a kid, everyone knew he was fast. He beat everyone he ever challenged, even kids older than him, for as long as I can remember. And for as long as I can remember, I was second fastest, always the second best runner. It wouldn't have been so bad being second best, but you see, it's what I did best out of everything. Just like Cheryl and her singing. I wasn't outstanding in any of my classes, and I wasn't the most popular guy in school. That I definitely highlighted and put me in junior high. I was not the most popular. Later on, yeah, junior high. Whatever it was, I was always somewhere in the middle. I was the guy you would never notice. They used to call me the generic kid when I was 10 because at day camp, none of the counselors could remember my name. I just didn't stand out. But I could run. And when you're a fast runner, there's nothing like that feeling as you pick up speed. Actually feel your body accelerate. And you realize that the wind isn't a wind at all. It's just you cutting through the still air like a bullet. There's nothing like that feeling when you know that this is what you do well and nobody can take it away. Nobody but Lost in Space. And I did highlight that last one and put my cross-country team. There's that whole running and cutting through the still air and stuff like that. That's my cross-country team. Nobody but Lost in Space. And he took it away real good. Not so much by beating me, but by purposely making me feel like I wasn't worth a thing. He knew exactly what to say to squash me beneath his big toe. Things like, maybe it's your running shoes that make you slow. Or maybe next year your legs will grow longer and you'll have a fighting chance. Or maybe he would just look at me with that silent gloat in his smile after beating me in yet another race. I don't know why, but it seemed that Coach Schuler always put us in the same races. We could take first and second, but when Austin and I were racing, there were no places, only winner and loser. And I was always, without exception, the loser. Once, I was the best. One year, Austin's father, who's a professor, took his whole family traipsing around South America for a whole year. It was in 7th grade, first year on the junior high school team. I finally got to see that finish line ribbon, to feel it pull across my chest as I crossed the line, I was hot then. The hero, popular, everything I could have wanted. And then Austin came back, like I knew he would. I remember the beginning of 8th grade, before the coach knew him. We were lined up for time trials, and just before Austin was to go, he turned to me and gave me that smile. The smile that said, "You're nothing, Jared Mercer, and I'll prove it." The coach yelled, "Go!" Austin took off, blew my 60-yard time sky high, beat it by almost half a second, which might not seem like much, but races are lost by hundreds of seconds. From that moment on, I was a backseater again, the generic kid living in the bigger-than-life shadow of lost in space. But this time, it was worse because I had tasted what it was like to be a winner, and Austin was determined to make sure I would never taste it again. You take these things too seriously, my father would say. So he's faster than you. Big deal. I'll bet there are things you do better than he does. But there weren't. My father just didn't understand. It wasn't just that he was faster than me. It was that I was second. And nobody on this earth could care less about runners-up. Oh, now in a moment they're going to mention the kid Austin going to the top of the oval. It just means you get the oval, that track that goes around. You just go to that very tippy part and you go running across it. On that first morning of 9th grade, I watched Austin from the stands. He knew I was there. He had to know. I was the only one in the bleachers. He ran around and around the dirt track in his bright white running shoes that never seemed to get dirty. It looked like he was going to go until the first bell rang. But then he stopped, stepped inside the track, and went to the highest point of the oval. Now, I knew what he was going to do. He did it all the time. His school bag sat there at the tip of the oval track. He took his blue digital chronometer, the one that Coach gave him after last year's final meet, and set it to 0. Then he took his running shoes and socks off, stared at an invisible spot in front of him, straight across the middle of the field to the other tip of the oval. He took his starting position, clicked the chronometer, and took off in his bare feet. It hurt to watch his speed. He tore through the grass like a racehorse on turf and was at the other end of the oval much too soon. Ooh, quick pause. That's an example of something we've studied recently. He tore through the grass like a racehorse on turf. Simile. Here's your next big question that kids have been messing up all day. Let's see if you're smarter than previous classes. What are the two nouns that are being compared in that simile?
Horse.
Horse is half of it. We're not comparing grass to horse.
Oh.
Austin. Nicely done. Comparing Austin to a racehorse. And when he runs, he's so fast, it feels like watching a racehorse take off across there. So comparing Austin to a racehorse. The other thing is, it mentions a digital chronometer. Do you guys know what a digital chronometer is?
Basically like a...
Yeah. I have no idea why they use the fancy word digital chronometer as opposed to just stopwatch. So a chronometer just means measures time. Chronometer. Digital chronometer just means digital measure time. So it just means digital stopwatch. Why they use a fancy word? Who knows? Authors. Digital chronometer. He looked at the time his chronometer had logged. Then he pretended to notice me for the first time. He waved. I waved back. He stretched out his legs, went to get his shoes, then came by the bleachers. "What's up, Jared? You have a good summer?" "Pretty good. What about you?" "Great." He put his foot up on the first bench and stretched his calf muscle. "You like my running shoes? They're Aeropeds. Best running shoe made. Cost almost $200. I nodded. "Maybe if you had these shoes," said Lawson, "you might be able to come close to giving me some competition this year." "Huh? Maybe," I said, which wasn't what I wanted to say. I won't tell you what I wanted to say. "You been working out?" "Yeah, I had been. Every spare moment I had." "That's good. Me too. Every day. All summer up at Junior National Running Camp. Guess what? What? I might qualify for the Junior NCAA Championships. Really? Uh-huh. Tough competition. But my time is averaging a quarter of a second faster than last year's 60-yard qualifying time. So I've been trying to get it even lower. My dad says if I qualify, then next year he'll find me a private coach and train me for the Olympics. He smiled that I'm better than you smile at me. So, what have you been up to? Me? Oh, I just went to European Runners Training Camp. Yeah, it's where you run cross country up and down the Alps all day long with famous Olympic athletes. Really? I sighed. No, actually, I just hung around and worked at Burger King making hamburgers. Hard work, that Burger King. It builds muscles in your fingers. I'll bet. You know, I was the youngest one they ever had working at that Burger King. Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, who else they gonna get to do the stupid flunky work but a kid, right? I didn't say anything after that. Well, I gotta go change, said Lawson. You coming to the first track meeting this afternoon? Of course. Well, I'll get there on time, he said, smiling, that crocodile smile at me. They're picking team captain today. I wouldn't want you to miss that. He turned and ran toward the locker room. I feel like I'm really nailing that Austin pace. Doing trying to get it across as best I can. Just the right level of snarkiness.
It's the pride, you know. You can hear the pride.
I mean, it's not like, obviously I'm not basing it off the audiobook, but as you go through it, Austin just has that snarky, I'm a jerk attitude. So when I read his voice, it just comes across like, hey, how are you doing? So, that's me. Yeah. I see Squidward as being kind of snarky.
His voice reads, I'm better than you, get out of here.
Last thing for you real quick. They mentioned Austin Pace gives a crocodile smile. That is an idiom. Do you guys know what a crocodile smile is?
A big smile. Like a big clear.
Now, kind of. If you've seen a crocodile, crocodiles always look like they're smiling. But the problem is, they're not. That's just the way it looks. Right before a crocodile eats you, it has a smile. So a crocodile smile is when a person smiles, but they don't mean it. It's a fake smile. You're a whole like, oh, you're coming to sit with us at lunch? Yay. And they give you that little smile. That's what Austin does. You will often see me give a crocodile smile. Like when I go, oh, you guys are packing up already while I'm still talking so I can charge you points? That's such a good choice. I'm so happy for you. And you're like, Mr. Brovicast, you're smiling, but I feel cold inside. Yeah, how about that? That's the crocodile smile, where you have to smile, but it's not a real smile. Now you can pack up, my special children who have already lost their point. What's up?